Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about this new awesome custom built DIY video DJ booth. So what you're looking at here is a DIY custom built DJ booth with a 58-inch TV built on the inside. All of this framework here is what braces the TV from the front. The shelving is what braces it from the back, kind of wedging it in, making it almost a permanent fixture inside. However, it's extremely easy to access should the TV ever fail or break, so it can be replaced. Inside we have a Samsung 7000 series Crystal UHD TV that has a USB 2.0 port on the back, and that's how I'm able to achieve the video monograms, the animated monograms, and even stationary monograms with a twist. We can also do slideshows, video shows, all kinds of cool stuff can be done with this booth. Now, if you ever thought about building one like this, I suggest you partake in it. I'm going to have another video that explains exactly how I built this booth, almost step by step. You'll be able to piece it together from the video. As of right now, it stands about 17 minutes long. We're going to give you a full tour of this booth just so you can check out what it does, how it's built, and what all it can do to make your job as a DJ easier and faster. Now, like I said earlier, this is a 58-inch TV with a viewable range of about 54 inches. Some of the TV is hidden by this trim board right here because this is what braces the TV from the front. Unfortunately, there's really no way around that if you're going to do a DIY project like this. I'm sure there's other things I could have done to brace it, but I do like the seamless look of this. It almost looks like the booth was built around the TV, and in a lot of ways it was. You kind of got to look at the measurements, dimensions of the booth are going to be based a lot around the TV itself. You frame it out, and then you start adding all the decorative pieces to kind of hold it all in place. So this will be able to do animated backgrounds with a monogram, kind of like this, not just with a company logo, obviously, but also with a personalized monogram for the bride and groom. We can do animated backgrounds. We can do full-scale animated monograms where it looks like the monogram is being written, or we can even do stationary monograms that have thousands of possibilities when it comes to a background. We can do a white background to help it match the booth. We can do a pink background if one of the wedding colors is pink. We can even do all kinds of images that can be a background, including pictures of the bride and groom. I can also connect this to the computer to where it does slideshows. It can do custom, I can custom make videos in After Effects to these really awesome picture montages to go with the first dance, the father-daughter dance, the mother-son dance, all those things. So having the TV in the booth really opens up your world. It's not all about karaoke. I know a few people are like, oh, it's kind of pointless to have a TV in your setup if you don't have karaoke. I strongly disagree with that. I wanted to do this project for a couple years, just didn't have the time or the money to do it. Came across the time and money, so I pulled the trigger. And honestly, I could not be more happy. As you can see by looking at the bottom, there are actually 6 casters that are on the bottom of this booth that make it rollable. On each corner, there are swivel casters with brakes, locking mechanisms, so once the booth is in place, it won't roll anywhere. Also makes it a lot easier to transport while it's in the van or trailer. It won't roll around. And then in the very middle, there are stationary casters, and what that allows me to do is make easy 180-degree turns and actually roll the booth 360 degrees if I wanted to. Don't know why I would, but I could. This makes it a lot easier to go up those venues that have wheelchair ramps. Venues like the Olmsted will no longer be an issue getting the booth in because I'll be able to make that 180-degree turn on the wheelchair ramp a lot easier with these casters. Now, I don't really like the casters being shown. I think it looks a little tacky, so I found a way to hide them and make it look like it's a permanent fixture within the venue. This is 5.5-inch trim board. It's made of pine. I cut the corners in 45-degree angles. That way it makes a perfect 90-degree angle. And what I do is I just open it up. I line it up with the sides of the booth. And then I just push it in place. Check the sides to make sure that the trim board is up against the booth, and there you have it. Wheels are gone, and it looks like a permanent fixture within the venue. So this is the back side of the booth, and right now it's not pretty. I still have a little bit of work to do with it, but I've been asked so many questions about this booth, I decided to go ahead and make a video about it. So this space here is 7 inches. 7 inches is exactly what 4U on a rack mount is. So what I have here is, right now I have a blank 1U plate. Eventually it's going to be a mixer drawer that will pull out, not for a mixer, but so I can eat dinner. If I don't have a vendor table available, I can pull it out, put my plate of food there instead of having to put it on the controller or next to the controller. It's just a more secure and much safer option to just have a little pull-out flat tray. Here I have a spot for all of my headphones, business cards, kind of the junk drawer. All the remotes for my uplighting, all the remotes for other lighting that I have, like the truss lighting, all that stuff will go in here. Over here, I have a Phoenix Pro PTU 7000 microphone system. Underneath that is the antenna extenders. That way I can mount the antennas in the back of the booth. That way there is some clear line of sight for the microphones. And then in this 1U drawer here, I actually have the microphones themselves and the antennas. As well as what will be stored in here is the remote for the TV. The nice thing about the TV that's in this booth is it doesn't require line of sight to be able to change the inputs, the channel, whatever you want to call it. So I didn't have to make any extra holes for the remote or any kind of divots in the woodwork. That's why it looks nice and flush. I kept that in mind when I was designing this. Down here, there's a 3.5 inch gap, which is exactly enough for 2U on a rack mount. So down here, I've got my cutouts for my XLR out for my speakers and a rack mountable surge protector. That way I can plug in my truss lighting and my speakers right here. I know a lot of people have had concerns about it being that close to my feet, but I've been rocking this for almost a year on my old booth, and I haven't had a problem with anything unplugging. It's never happened. I tend to stand a little far out from my DJ booth anyway, usually about here, so I don't have to worry about kicking those and turning them off. So now you're in the cockpit view, and we get to talk about all the cool fun stuff that makes this booth a lot of fun. So we have a Pioneer DDJ 1000 that runs virtual DJ on my laptop. I have a laptop stand. A deck saver goes over the controller for transport. If you don't have a deck saver, they're actually really nice to get if you have an open setup like this. Kind of keeps the controller dust free. It's polycarbonate acrylic basically, and just it's made and it's fitted specifically for your controller. You have to choose obviously which deck saver that you would need, but they're really nice to have. I had to make a small modification on the laptop stand. The laptop stand used to have a downward 25-degree angle. I actually had to stand on the base and pull on the top to make it more of a 90-degree angle because it didn't leave me enough room to put the deck saver on and off. I don't have as much depth-wise as I do on my old booth with this booth because the TV does take up a few extra inches in the back. But that's okay. This shelf is removable, and it's important that it's removable because if the TV were to ever break or fail, this shelf comes off. It ends the brace of what it has on the back of the TV, and I can very easily push the TV out, take it out, and replace it should it ever fail or break. That's why it's so important to design the booth around the TV instead of put the TV in a booth that you've already built, because there's a good chance that if you've already built the booth and you put a TV in it, you may never be able to get it out again in case it were to fail or break. And I don't really want to build another one of these anytime soon. I like this one. So I wanted to make sure that I can replace the TV instead of having to just build an entire booth all over again. Now, a lot of you have been asking me about the dimensions and the weight of this booth. So you're looking at 55.5 inches wide by 25 inches deep, 39.5 inches tall. That's with the casters on it. It had to be designed the way it was with those dimensions in mind because it will fit into my minivan, and that's extremely important. I don't have a trailer yet, so the only way for me to transport this is to wheelchair. I have a wheelchair ramp that folds up, and it literally ramps right into my van and sits behind where the front seat is. If you've ever watched any of my gig logs where my old booth would rest up against, this one will rest up against the exact same spot. Weight-wise, I don't know. I have no way to weigh something this large, obviously, but I can tell you this: if it weighs more than my older booths, it doesn't outweigh it by much. I can still very easily flip this thing up on its side, turn it upside down if I have to work on the casters, anything like that. In fact, I had to add weight to this. On the very bottom, reinforcing the casters and the bottom shelf, there is 2 by 6 by 8 treated lumber that I cut to size and added the casters to. And the reason why I had to add the weight to it is because with the TV being in the front, this was very forward heavy and it wanted to tip over all by itself without any assistance. So I had to add more weight to the bottom to ensure that doesn't happen. And it's actually really hard to do that now. That's me pulling pretty hard to do that. So adding the weight might be unfortunate in some cases, but it's still very lightweight, still very easily to maneuver around single-handedly if I have to. This will really help enhance my guest experience for the weddings that I do. I only do weddings. We advertise ourselves as an ultra elegant professional DJ service. This is what my clients have come to expect, something along these lines. Whether it's my older booths with the front-loading poster frames for insertable monograms, or now this, which is really going to blow the doors off of what they expect. Being able to have a customized monogram with all kinds of backgrounds, animated backgrounds and animated monograms, slideshows, professionally done After Effects movies for the first dance. Whatever their imagination can conjure, we can do with this booth. It's only limited by our imaginations. Now, will a booth like this make me a better DJ? Absolutely not. I've seen DJs with super old equipment and really substandard setups be able to rock crowds. It's not about the setup, it's about the performance. But a little bit of enhancement does not hurt. Now, if you have any questions, any further questions about this booth, feel free to reach me at eliteevents@kyweddingdj.com, or you can call or text me at 502-295-4090. I really hope you enjoyed this walkthrough of my new DJ video booth. And if you ever want to build one yourself, you know, I was really reluctant to do it myself just because it seemed like a really big challenge. I was afraid of messing it up, and it came out far better than what I thought it ever would have. So take the plunge, trust yourself, learn. There's going to be some give or take. There's going to be some trial and error. But that's okay. That's how you learn. I have never worked with wood in my life in these past couple of years building these booths. And now I think I'm on the right path for really building some absolutely beautiful booths. This definitely won't be the last one I build for sure. Once I get a trailer, I want to build one with a 70-inch TV on the inside. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Stay safe out there, and hopefully we'll have some gig vlogs coming at you here very, very soon. Take care.